We were left with the cliffhanger of the players' votes deadlocked twice, with David and Mark up for banishment. All we knew was that their fate would be decided by chance before episode 5 had finished. Could it be a coin toss, a short straw, or even rock, paper, scissors? After waiting a day, we were all put out of our misery. Claudia had 2 chests, or as she labelled them, the chests of chance. One had a shield and the other was empty. Whoever found the one with the shield was safe and the other was banished. Mark suggested that David should choose first. This was all too nerve-wracking to see 2 faithfuls in this position. Both had given a plea in the previous episode, but there was nothing to be said here, just the nervous weight of anticipation. They both opened their chests at the same time, and it was David's chest which had the shield, meaning Mark was banished. The faithfuls and fate strikes again.
I'm not necessarily voting you out, David.
No, but statistically it's the most likely thing to happen.
We tend to move on, to be honest.
Yes, we do. We do.
Lucy hit the nail on the head, and it was similar to what I've mentioned before about them being like a fish in a bowl. The faithfuls move on very quickly and go after someone different from either who they've voted for or who they've mentioned earlier that day. It really didn't give me any confidence that they would get it right the next night.
Oh God, let's hope they're not doing a bug off on murders.
Let's.
With Nick, Lucy and David winning a shield, the traitors discussed Wilkinson, Kate and Stephen as their candidates for murder. I was surprised Marla wasn't a candidate. Marla could still prove to be a very dangerous faithful. Like Kat said, I thought that getting rid of Stephen would bring more heat Jonathan's way, though he seems to always find a way to escape banishment, or rather the faithfuls always find a way to vote for someone else. The big dog theory won't go away, but yet not enough of them are following through with it. Despite the faithfuls being none the wiser about who the traitors are, they have given us some comedy gold.
I adore you, Alan, but I did wake up wondering about you this morning.
In what way?
I'm afraid I did.
A fantasy?
This is my favourite double act along with the Joes.
You're much cleverer than you ever let on, and I love that about you, but...
You're saying I play dumb?
You don't play dumb.
Unfortunately, the Joes were broken up, as it turned out Wilkinson was the latest victim of the traitors. The comedians are dwindling, and so is my chances of getting a pre-game prediction correct.
Well, I'm gutted that Joe's not here. Not ashamed, because remember, it's a game.
It is.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I can't be grumpy about the fact that you've ruined the game.
Marlowe was not taking it well. He was probably also annoyed that he keeps beating the drum about Jonathan and there's not been enough votes to banish him. What a moment with Nick working out the maths on the traitors and faithfuls while seated with the 3 traitors. Nick's suspicions has him correct on 2 of the 3 traitors, but he's kind of been all over the place with his votes. We know why he's not voting for Kat or faithful Lucy, but why isn't he voting for Jonathan? As I was listening to Kat's commentary about Celia being an icon, I wondered if she knew who Celia was before the game because she didn't know who Helen Mirren was. It's a fair question.
Bags, I'd be a knight. Oh, I already am. Stop it!
Instead of an old queen.
Hey!
Giant traitor with the chessboard, which was previously seen on both UK and US Season 3, was back, but with a slight difference. The players were split up in 2 teams and the losing team would be up for that night's murder. At first all the traitors were on the same team, which was what Alan wanted, but Marla wasn't happy, so everyone was on the move. Both teams were doing well with the first 2 questions, so I was wondering what would happen if both teams got the 3rd one correct, as it was the first to 3 that would win. While collectively each team had discussed what answers to go with for the first 2 questions, the 3rd one would only require 1 from each team to pick. Nick and Marla were the ones who could pick the answers for their team. Both Nick and Marla thought Nick's team had the most traitors, so both conspired for Marla's team to win, which was funny to us as Marla's team actually had the most traitors with Alan and Kat. This meant Kate, Lucy, Nick and Stephen were up for murder, as Jonathan was also on the losing team. £5,000 was added, taking the prize fund to £43,500. With Wilkinson's demise and born from the chessboard game, we have a new detective double act in Marla and Nick. Stephen and Jonathan's name were floating about, but it seemed like Stephen could end up being the one out of the two so-called big dogs that would end up with the most votes. Stephen brought up the fact that the traitors don't get much sleep and raised the point that Kat was sleeping earlier. Kat had to let them know that she has autism and ADHD, something I wondered if it would come up having read a bit about her. The intensity of the game and filming has sounded quite challenging even for those that aren't neurodivergent, so it's not surprising to hear this from Kat, and her being tired would be an issue even if she was a faithful. The more the round table went on, the more I thought Marla was going to get banished. The way the others were reacting to his words and demeanour was making me wonder if one or two might switch to him instead of their intended target for voting. What I couldn't understand was, why did Nick admit to sabotaging the mission? If he wants to be truthful, then he shouldn't have done it in the first place. From a gameplay perspective, that just puts a target on his back with the faithfuls, because others won't see the move for what it is and think he's just sacrificed them for something he's not certain of. I really have to question the faithfuls here. They seem to be doing things to get themselves banished. I mean, there's other things to question them on too. From the start, this round table was screaming that another faithful was going to get banished. I can't believe they did it again. Actually, I can. Everything we've seen so far was pointing to this happening again. This is quite some run the faithfuls are on, and it's not even the worst I've seen. I won't give away what countries and seasons they were, but there's at least 2 I know of that have an abysmal run. Stephen was banished, but does that now mean Jonathan is next? If we're going by the big dog theory, then he should be, right? Alan made a cock up with forgetting he had a shield. That was such a mistake. When it happened at the round table, I did wonder if anyone would jump on it. While it wasn't discussed at the round table, it was afterwards. Would this be something else the faithfuls forget, or will this be Alan's undoing? All throughout, I've been wondering when a death list would come into play, but I'm still waiting on that, and it might not happen with so little of them left. The 3 that could be murdered received a lovely little letter, though they wouldn't call it lovely. This murder was going to be a face-to-face murder back at the chessboard. One by one, Kate, Lucy and Nick made their way at night. Those that saw Claudia were safe, and the one who saw the traitors was the next victim. We don't know who they've picked, but the traitors should pick Lucy. There's now heat on Nick for his sabotage, and suspicion has been flying around Kate from the start. Doing the math, there can't be any more traitors if one is banished in the next episode, so at least one of Alan, Kat or Jonathan have a real chance of winning if the faithfuls don't finally get something right.